Hello there, Danky Kang Gang. On today's episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about how to avoid going down the far-right, alt-right rabbit hole. A lot of people have talked about the PewDiePipeline, how YouTuber PewDiePie is essentially making anti-Semitic jokes or far-right jokes and using offensive language towards black people and telling his massive subscriber base of young, impressionable kids to go subscribe to a far-right propaganda channel named E:*R. And that is a bit of a direct way to see it. There are also key individuals on YouTube who come to my mind when I think of the YouTube alt-right. And one of these individuals was Sargon of Akkad, who sort of got his start with the whole Gamergate controversy, which I might do a video on in the future. But as we can see, Sargon of Akkad, close to 1 million subscribers, hundreds of thousands of views for every video, and his library consists of nothing but this reactionary, bigoted bullshit, alarmist, far-right propaganda. And he has a network, ladies and gentlemen. He has been on the Joe Rogan podcast. He has a lot of other channels that he cross-promotes. He has tons of patrons on Patreon. And so there are many, many others. Here's another guy, No Bullshit, who has 649,000 subs. Every one of his videos has tens of thousands of views, and it's just nothing but reactionary crap. Now, this is what I mean when I say the alt-right propagating on YouTube. YouTube has created an environment where it is extremely lucrative for these people to make videos about as many topics as possible. As you can see, they're talking about vegans, they're talking about race politics, the Emoji Movie, Wonder Woman. They talk about video games. They talk about everything on these channels. And part of this has made them very effective at getting audiences from a large amount of fan bases to click on their channels, watch their content, etc., etc. A lot of these guys masquerade behind the veneer of being a gaming channel, a comic book channel, a movie channel, a geek, channel. Like this guy, The Quartering, all things comics, video games, tabletop games. But in reality, if you look at his library, you just see overwhelming amounts of alt-right reactionary propaganda. Hundreds of thousands of views per video. Many videos. And so this is what I'm talking about. They have huge audiences for these videos. They are reaching huge audiences. And so the best way to sort of avoid following into these guys' traps is to not watch their content, because it's poisonous. Ladies and gentlemen, it poisons the way you think. It conditions you to look at the world as the, in the incel red-pilled mindset. And that is what these guys are trying to do. They're trying to get everybody to take the red pill, which is a philosophy of misogyny and bigotry, and Western chauvinism. Just out-and-out scum. But, these guys have made a killing off of doing this. They're reaching huge amounts of audiences, and so the best way to do it is to not subscribe to these people don't support them, and don't support people who do support them. And with this, I mean specifically folks like H3H3, who are known to defend far-right YouTubers when they come out and make mistakes. They defended JonTron, and they defended PewDiePie, which most certainly were racist in their actions. And you know, this is painful for me because I honestly liked H3H3. It's just unfortunate which side of the sand they chose to draw the line on, and which side that they're on. And they have also had folks like Jordan Peterson on their podcast. Once again, this is a channel with 6,496,000 subscribers, introducing their audience of impressionable kids to somebody like Jordan Peterson, or to justify comments made by that scumbag JonTron or that other scumbag PewDiePie, and say that it's just the outrage machine trying to get at him. These folks, H3H3, I'll name another one, Boogie2988. I have made videos about both of these individuals in the past.
What's up?
And both Boogie and H3 have done a great job at rehabilitating fascist and far-right individuals on YouTube. Like H3, Boogie stuck up for JonTron. Boogie stuck up for PewDiePie. Boogie has had several very problematic stances in the past. And so, all this is to say, this sort of PewDiePipeline, alt-right pipeline present on YouTube is more insidious than I think people give them credit for. You don't have to go out and type in alt-right or white nationalism on the YouTube search engine to find alt-right or far-right leaning content. All you need to do is participate in a hobby shared by millions of people, namely video games. And if you're on gamer YouTube, or the geek sphere of YouTube, or the anime sphere of YouTube, comic book sphere, you are going to encounter this reactionary ideology, and you are going to encounter people who defend this ideology. You are going to be exposed to these people. One recent event where it happened to me was the Game of Thrones series finale. Like a lot of people, I was very disappointed in Game of Thrones and how it ended, but unlike a lot of people, I didn't blame feminism, the SJWs, and postmodern neo-Marxism as the reason why Game of Thrones failed. But I encountered a channel by the name of Geeks&Gamers, who pretty much blamed that as the reason why Game of Thrones failed. I started watching their videos criticizing the ending of Game of Thrones, and I was on board with them all the way up until they said, "This is just SJW bullshit propaganda." And then I knew I had been listening to chuds. And of course, like a fool, I go to their channel, and once again, we have another reactionary far-right chud channel here on YouTube. Tens of thousands of views per video, 172,000 subs. Just another example. So it's very easy. Imagine if you are a kid, like I was, back in like 2012 or so, going on YouTube, and I love video gamers. They can be very charismatic. I didn't grow up I wasn't part of the whole Let's Play scene, but if I was younger, I might have gotten into Let's Plays. So let's just say I listen to PewDiePie. I watch him every day. I practically worship him. There's so many kids out there that worship PewDiePie. In fact, let's go to his channel. So there's so many kids out there that worship PewDiePie. In fact, we can say there's at least 97 million of them. But let's say that I kept watching PewDiePie every single day, religiously. And then, one day, PewDiePie tells me to go out and subscribe to channel E:R and watch his videos because they're really funny. Well then, I go to his channel, I see a bunch of red-pilled far-right memes, and then I start to assume, well, that's what my idol PewDiePie thinks is funny, so that must be really funny. So, already, you can sort of see this sort of established trend where people are exposed to red-pilled ideologies or sources of red-pilled ideologies, and they are pushed through the pipeline, and it gradually devolves. You start hearing E:'R's video, then you might go to somebody like Stefan Molyneux, who PewDiePie had previously followed on Twitter. So from Stefan Molyneux, you might go to someone like Richard Spencer. And from Richard Spencer, you might go to somebody like David Duke. And so there you can sort of see the trend. You can see the established pattern. You can see how the alt-right are drawing their sources from a myriad of different communities: gaming, geeks, anime. I've seen it in at least those communities. And the skeptic community, of course. How could I leave that one out? And so there are a lot of different avenues by which people can be exposed to the alt-right. One thing that has really exacerbated its presence on YouTube is the fact that YouTube didn't nip this in the bud. They didn't, and this is coming from someone whose past 2 channels were falsely banned from hate speech. YouTube has serious problems with their algorithm. It targets the wrong people, okay? It's not targeting the people who are doing actual hate speech on the website. It's targeting people who are calling attention to that. Whether that's by design or unintentional doesn't matter, because it just displays YouTube's cooperation with the alt-right in this endeavor, even if it's an unwilling or unaware cooperation. So one way to avoid the alt-right on YouTube is, unfortunately, to stop watching YouTube, because it's everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. But another better way, I think, is to support left-wing channels that try to debunk all of this crap, and try to get their subscriber bases larger than that of these alt-right people. And we've got a long way to go, but we are making progress. The queen of this endeavor is ContraPoints. She is not only the queen of Breadtube, but she's my queen. She's my queen, to quote Jon Snow. 659,000 subs. It's nowhere near somebody like PewDiePie, but it's close enough to somebody like No Bullshit or Sargon to be a threat. I just realized I hadn't subbed. Brand new channel, gotta go resub to all my favorite leftist YouTubers. But all that is to say, we have a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a long, hard road to counter the alt-right on YouTube. It's not going to be easy, and it sure as hell we aren't going to get any help from YouTube. I don't expect YouTube to help us at all. In fact, I expect YouTube to be a thorn in our side every step of the way. But if we can call enough attention to this phenomenon of leftist YouTubers getting censored and banned, we can just point out and highlight just how prevalent and insidious the alt-right has permeated throughout YouTube. Maybe we can get some action done. Maybe we can get the YouTube board members talking about how to fix their fucking platform. But until then, I just have to say, keep it safe. The best way to deprogram yourself from the alt-right is listen to the people demonized by them. I started listening to what feminists had to say when all I heard was how stupid and idiotic feminists were. It was the exact same thing me growing up being taught creationism. I was taught how stupid evolution was my entire life, and then I actually looked it up. And yeah, so it's the same deal, guys. I looked up what feminists had to say, I looked up what far leftists had to say, I looked up what anti-fascists had to say, and I found out, hell, I agree with all that stuff. So, all that is to say, people who make educational videos like mine need to be supported. It's how I learned, it's how I became a comrade, and it's how we will get more comrades in the future. The only way to ensure that Breadtube survives is to stick together and to not rely on YouTube to help us. It's going to have to be the fellow leftists that help each other prosper here on this platform. Because rest assured, we are going to get attacked. We are going to get censored. It's going to get ugly. So we need to be prepared for all of that. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe.